And we are still in the 4.0 EPTU testing 4.0 out, and we are currently at Area 18, and I'm going to talk about the best new player starting location for 4.0. So if you've been playing for a while, you know where you want to go, you have a good idea where you want to go. Maybe this will give you some idea if you're trying to narrow down your last place that you want to start at. If you're a new player, this is going to help you out because you really have to make a much bigger choice now, and your choice now matters a lot more than it did before. Really, it boils down to a few things, and so the first thing is you got to think about your play style. Now, if you're the kind of person, PvP, PvE, PVA, you have to decide mostly what you're going for, and the game kind of allows a little bit of everything no matter where you are. In Pyro, in Stanton, it doesn't matter, but with server meshing, both of those systems are now together. We do have the ability to travel from one system to another. And so if you're looking at reducing your chances of getting attacked, not eliminating, but reducing, you're going to be looking at Stanton. If you are all about non-stop combat, just trying to eke out a survival, and you like that kind of gameplay, absolutely Pyro's going to be the place for you. There's fewer safe areas, and there's a near constant need to protect yourself. So those are the big difference between Stanton and Pyro when you're choosing those. Now, if you actually look at the map, this is another big change. So I'm going to zoom out here. We are at Area 18. We're in Stanton here. This is Stanton. Going to go all the way, so we're going to zoom out to we're now going to go over to Pyro and go into Pyro, and this system is massive. The distance from about here to here is about the width of Stanton. So you're looking at huge distances. So unfortunately, if you're a new player and you've got yourself a starter ship like the Cutter or the MSR, not the MSR, sorry, the MR, the Aurora, even some of the bigger starters, they have switched fuel a little bit. It's a little bit better, but just the massive distances that you have to travel, it's probably better for you to start in a system like Stanton and then move to Pyro when you have got a bigger ship in game. Because I will say, if you're going to be defending yourself and you have not got it as a starter, at the very least something like a Cutlass, you might not do well in fights. The Avenger Titan might be able to hold out for a bit, but you're definitely looking at bigger and more dedicated fighting ships in order to start out in the Pyro system. So I would say, for a brand new player, even someone who wants PvP as their main focus, I would start in Stanton. Now, starting in Stanton, if you do want to focus on PvP, you have three choices, really. Microtech is not your choice, and I'm going to explain why in a second about that. Crusader is a good choice because if you go to Crusader, you are very close to setting your shop up in Grim Hex, which is around one of the moons around Crusader. Oh, that was the wrong click. Let me back out here. I'll just go here. So if we go Grim Hex. So Grim Hex here, as you can see, is around one of the runes, around Yella here, which is around Crusader. So this is a good place to set up shop if you want to do PvP while still in Stanton. The other two choices I'd say are Hurston in Lorville and Area 18 in Arcorp. And the reason why I would maybe choose out of both of those, Arcorp, is because once you've built up and you want to start moving into the Pyro Gateway, the Pyro Gateway is very close by. And that's why I wouldn't say Microtech necessarily is the best place to go, because when you do decide to eventually start heading into Pyro, if you ever respawn at your home base, you are having to make the trip all the way across the system before getting into Pyro and then making the long trip into Pyro. So overall, I'd say starting with a smaller ship with their lack of range and lack of defensive capability, something like the base Cutter, something like the Aurora MR, definitely I would say start in Stanton. Otherwise, I would say go to Pyro. So Pyro not only is your starter ship making a big choice, but at the same time also your starting location, just in the proximity of what you want to do. Now, if you want to do something like mining, trading, either Microtech or Lorville is always a good start. I don't suggest that you start in Area 18 because currently what happens is when you start the game, you always start in your hangar in your home location. And Area 18 is one of the best places to sell goods because from the hab, it's a very short jaunt between Dumper's Depot, the admin terminal, and the TDD. So if you are always starting at your hangar, that's actually making it harder to do selling in Area 18. So I would set up shop in one of the other places. Lorville's more central, lots of good mining up in New Babbage, so those are the places that I would choose. So kind of interesting. Now if we're going into Pyro, I did check out some of the different areas here. I did check out Checkpoint and Ruin Station. I would say for someone just starting out, especially if you have a smaller ship, so far it seems like Checkpoint seems to be a bit better, a little bit less likely to get shot on site as soon as you're leaving the station. Ruin was definitely more kill on site, so kind of a choice to make there. But that's pretty much it. As for actual starter, I'm going to quickly go to the website, and I'm going to open this up. So if you're a new player, you're just starting to get the game. Now I do have a discussion on buying Star Citizen, especially if you're trying to gift this to someone for Christmas. I'm putting that video out at the same time. This is just kind of a an addition to that that's directly talking about where to start. So I'm just going to go and look at the main screen here on my computer, and we're on the RSI website. And if you go to shop and pledge store, I should say, and from there we're going to go to game packages, specifically game packages, and discuss what I would suggest. I always suggest if you're new to the game, start low, start small, work your way up to something you like. There are some holiday starter packs. They come with a bit of a discount, 15% off. At the same time, they're also coming with the different paints, the Icebreak paint and the Deck the Hall paint. There is also the MR starter pack. This is by far the cheapest way to get in the verse ever. It's never cheaper than $40.50. So $45 to $40.50. You do need to get yourself a game package because if you do not, then it does not have what is known as the Star Citizen digital download included in part of it. So if it doesn't have this, you're not going to be able to play the game unless you spent over $1,000. You're definitely going to not be doing that as a new player. Out of these, honestly, the Nomad's pretty solid as a starter. The Intrepid is not the best starter, but for the price, you're saving some money by buying it for 15% off. It does have LTI, and then you could upgrade it to something else. So if you're looking at getting a Nomad, I honestly would just say if you're not really caring about getting these two paints, the better deal might be to get yourself the Intrepid starter pack and then upgrade that to a Nomad so it has LTI. Also, as long as you have a referral code right now, so I do have a referral code on my screen. There's also a referral code in the link below. That will get you a Mirai Pulse included when you get the game. So it does get added after the referral bonus event is over. You'll get a Mirai Pulse in there. That also has LTI. That also can be upgraded, although it can never be melted. But I would suggest a starter to get around. The Cutter is pretty solid. 51 bucks. Can't go wrong with that. The Avenger Titan, not one that I fly a lot, but people love this ship. It's a pretty solid start as well, at only $9 more. It might be better if you're looking at starting out in Pyro, wanting to have something with a little bit more combat capabilities. The Nomad, if you want to get into mining, you can start with rock mining with this. Also has a lot of cargo capacity, also has an awesome interior, and not bad as far as flight characteristics or how it handles itself. The Intrepid, I really have no experience with this at all, just a little bit of flying around. But like I said, if you're looking to get something bigger than $68 for a starter pack, if you want to get something like the Cutlass Black, why not get yourself an Intrepid and then upgrade using the ship upgrades, which are right here under other ship upgrades. So if I had myself a Intrepid and then I upgraded that to say something like the Nomad, it's only going to cost me, oh, I don't want that, only going to cost me 15 bucks more to get a Nomad with lifetime insurance. That's pretty awesome. If I want to get myself a Cutlass, going to cost $45 to go from the Intrepid to the Cutlass. Again, going to have lifetime insurance transferred on that. So that's what makes upgrading pretty awesome. As a new starter, I wouldn't look at getting something bigger than the Cutlass, even if it was something like the Andromeda, which is pretty amazing. I would just, for now, stick with something a little bit smaller, get to know the game, get to see what you like. You can earn ships in game, and those ships currently are operating the same as having lifetime insurance. So once you get one, as long as there's no wipe with an upcoming patch like there is with 4.0, you're gonna have that in game to use. So that's pretty much it. Not sure where you would start out, but where I'm gonna start out, if I go back to the game here, my choice is I'm going to be starting out in Lorville. The reason why I'm going to be starting out in Lorville is because, like I've said before, I like industry. I like being able to get a lot done. So I like the central location of Lorville. I like to sell at Area 18, but because of the way it's working, where on your home location you start in your hangar, I'm not actually going to like to start in my hangar in our corp. I like to be able to start in a hab, and it's going to be relatively close to the Pyro Gateway. So when I do want to go to Pyro, it's going to be easy for me to set up shop in there as well. So that's it. Hopefully this helped, and hopefully with 4.0, I'm going to see a lot more of you in the verse. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody. Have an awesome day.